All right. Well, give me another minute or so. Let a couple more people get on here and we'll get going. I have no agenda. All you are gonna be the speakers today.
I have an agenda.
Do you? Good. I'm glad somebody does. I am glad somebody does. So anyway, I invited people. I know a lot of you are on my email list for the wholesalers toolbox. Excuse me, and and wholesaling partners and all that. And and I've explained this to a lot of you, but I've had the wholesalers toolbox website for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I meet a lot of people that say, hey, I know your website, it got me started in the business, this is where I got my contracts from, or this or that. But I feel, I started to feel a little bit stagnant with it. Like I knew it helped people, but it didn't, but I saw so many people just like struggling still, right? Um, and buying courses and and spinning their wheels. So I finally just, decided I needed to do something more than that website. And that's why I just decided to start the community. I thought, if I could get people in there and motivate them to take that next step, to get beyond the buying another course phase, beyond the I'm scared to go to a RIA meeting phase, that I would be helping more people, right? So that's why I started
Yeah.
doing this. I just wanted to motivate. Is now it's not going to be everybody, right? There's still going to be people that just aren't going to do it, but I felt like I could get more people there by doing this. So that's why I started the community. um so I want to talk to all of you, and we can talk about struggles that you had leading, or are currently having, and what will help you get past that. What a lot of you have been in the community, what you see in there, what you wish it would have, what you would like to see in there, and what would get you to take those next steps. Because let's face it, everybody on here, I bet you, has bought a course or gone to an event and paid for it or something, where you thought, this is it, this is the thing that's going to propel me to the next step, right? I'm going to get my first deal done, I'm going to start doing more deals or whatever. But the fact is that you know you somebody's got to push you to take that step, because a lot of us don't have it in us, right? This is doing this is a big thing for me, building. I want 10, 20,000 people in this community, and that's stepping out of my comfort zone, right? Before, I had a website that people came to, never saw anybody's face, right? We would talk via email, so people would email me and stuff. But this is a big step for me, right? I have to get out of my comfort zone. I have to do this, right? Last week I went and spoke at a pre-foreclosure summit that was here in Clearwater. Up at, it wasn't a huge crowd, but 100, 150 people, something like that. And to get up in front of everybody and speak, that's a big deal for me. I don't like to do that, right? So I want to force you guys to do the same thing. I want to force you out of your comfort zone and make you successful at doing this, because the only way it's going to happen is if you get uncomfortable and you do it.
Right.
So who wants to talk first? Who has suggestions? Who wants to share their the story of about their struggles, and what they've been going through? I think everybody can hit the little raise a hand button, if you have a question, or you want to get going. Who wants to go first?
Do we mute in between
You can
whenever?
mute. I think most people are muted, other
Okay.
than me, you, and Tyrone, it looks like, and Paula. So,
I'll go first here real quick. I've got a couple things. First, I want to thank you for the community. Right when you got it started, my dog's visiting here. Right when you got it started, I had gotten back into the Wholesalers Toolbox, the website, and I thought, there's got to be an easier way. And he's got so much great information here. So, and I just wanted to make everybody in the group aware that that's out there as well. The website. And I think that's it for now.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, the whole, I go back and forth with the wholesalers toolbox. It's like, should I keep running it? Should I move everything over to wholesaling partners? I'll probably let it run a while anyway. And just because people know it and they know it's there.
Yeah.
But I'm, really, because I'm creating content for two places instead of one, right? So it gets to be a lot because it's just me. I mean, eventually I might bring somebody on to help me run wholesaling partners, but but it's a lot to do both. But for now, it's there, and it'll be there if anybody needs to go to the wholesalers toolbox and find anything. I am trying to bring content over from there and put it in to wholesaling partners, but it just, it takes time. So.
Yeah. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you're just going around the clock pretty much.
I do a lot. Yeah. It'll be easy once I get a lot of that stuff over. I say it'll be easier and it won't be easier, but I in my head, I think it'll be easy once I get, everything over there and running. But, as we get more people on here, and something I want to bring up, I don't know if any of them are on here. I don't see Michael on here. I will say this, and then I've got a couple people with hands raised, and I'll take those. But this week I had I have people reach out to me and want to promote products. And, and some of them hit me pretty hard with it, like, oh, we need to get in front of your community with this and all that. And I don't want the community to be about that. Right. I've got some products in there like Deal Machine and PropStream because I know everybody uses them. Right. There's, they're very common tools. And I want to have those there and I want to do training on those because so many people use them. But I don't want I'm going to be very strict about having people come and just drop their product in there, and I'll delete them. I'll boot them out of the group for doing it. So I made a post yesterday about that. But I just want it to be really clear. If you guys see something, where somebody's spamming the group, please, you can, click on the little buttons and report the post so I can bump it out of there. But I don't want the community to become that because it will become that very quickly if I don't stay on top of it, because everybody's going to want to get in there, especially when we grow. And, we're almost to 1,000 people now, but as it's 2,000 and 3,000 and 5,000, everybody's going to want to get in there and just spam their stuff and skip tracers or whatever. So please, all of you help me stay on top of that.
Okay.
All right. All right, let's go. Mr. Tyrone, pop on there. You got your hand raised.
Yeah, how you doing, everybody? I'm out there grinding, I'm hitting it, hopefully pretty hard. I'm getting potential clients, but now my fear is I don't have any buyers. I keep, that I started my Facebook group, and I'm trying to promote that out there for, potential buyers. So my next step is I need at least a few buyers so I know what I'm out there looking for them for instead of out there blindly.
Well, you're in Connecticut or no?
Yes. Yeah.
Connecticut. Is that not where, don't you have David DeVito in your group?
Yeah.
In your state group? Dave is a broker up there. I believe he runs a real estate investment group. If you do come across something, get a hold of David, first of all. Okay. Second of all, I'm going to do, and I was trying to put it together today. I think I'm going to do it in segments and drop it, but I've got about 10 strategies I'm going to record and show you guys how to build your buyers list really quick for free. Okay. So I'll get that done this week and I'll have it to you so you can start doing it. But all strategies that you can use Facebook for, not like the method that you're already doing, which is also a good method, but things that you can do to put people on your list real quick. And I kind of want to do a challenge because I'm going to give you several things. Okay.
Okay.
And I was thinking about doing it in a challenge form so you guys will actually do it, but just adding 5 people a day. Right. 5 buyers a day. I'll show you how to do it. So, but it's not like you've got to set aside hours and hours to do it. You can go in 15, 20 minutes, add 5 people. Next day, same thing. And then, at the end of 30 days, you'll have a big, massive list. So, but I will teach you all how to do that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Promise. Let's go to Jacqueline.
Hi. So I am, let me put my hand down.
Oh,
I
I
am
did it
brand new.
for you.
Oh, I think I just put it back up then.
Okay. We got you.
Okay. So I'm brand new to this group. I'm not brand new to wholesaling, although I feel like I am because I've been so unsuccessful. I have bought 2 courses that were kind of like a joke, really. They're telling me all the same thing, and the same thing doesn't work. So I'm here in Florida. I'm in Central Florida. I know that there's a lot of deals out there. I just bought Privy, I think it was last week. So I'm having a little bit of difficulty with it yet. I did go on the live training, but I think I needed to go into the one on Privy to help me out because I'm having a little bit of difficulty with a couple of things.
Okay.
But I do like it. So that seems to help me out. I have been on another Facebook group recently probably in the last 2 to 3 weeks that I basically stated my case and said, hey, I'm here to do whatever you need me to do. I started bird dogging for a couple of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I did find, I do believe, some deals for them, and I sent them over to them. So the one guy got back to me today and said, his plate's pretty full now. So he said, can you try to help me sell them? And I said, sure. So I'm starting that way just to build up some cash because, I had cash and I gave it all to my courses, which was probably a dumb thing to do, but I did.
If you don't want to answer this, you don't have to. But how much did you spend on the courses?
I don't want to say.
Okay.
Too much.
Enough said. More than 50.
More than I wanted. Yeah,
Okay.
more than basically, let's just say that I'm drained of all my money now. Because I truly believe that that's where it was going to get me where I needed to go, and it did not.
Yeah.
And I know that I am not a stupid person. Sometimes I'm a little technically challenged, but I'm not a stupid person. I know how to talk to people. I know how to talk to agents. I know how to talk to buyers. But the one thing I do hate, I hate talking to the homeowner. I hate it because they don't like you. So.
And why do you say that?
Because either they never answer their phone or they hang up on you. I've had one person.
So you don't like making cold calls.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like talking to them, like, I don't have a problem talking to anybody really. But I don't like the cold calling for them because they're not very friendly.
Yeah. It's a problem with outbound marketing, right? Because people don't, I mean, like, anything like that, I look at myself, do I like it? Do I like when people just call me randomly? And I don't.
Right.
Honestly, I don't pick up the phone if it's not my wife or my kids and I don't know the number.
And I'm the same way. And so I feel the same way. It's like if I'm, and they keep saying, oh, call him every week. No, you know what? That would just irritate me.
Yeah.
It would irritate me and I would get angry and I would tell them, leave me alone. And so I get it. I feel for them,
Yeah.
And I'm not comfortable making them that uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I want to talk about that. There's better ways to get inbound calls because, and that's the way that I always did it. And, because I like somebody calling me because I know they're motivated, right? If they call me off of, either, if I drove for dollars and left something, or if I emailed them, or if I sent them a postcard or whatever, and they call me and they say, "Hey, David, I got your card and I need to sell this place." It's a lot better conversation than
I
just
totally agree.
calling
Yeah,
somebody. A lot of the coaches go to that with SMS, with cold calling, with ringless
yes,
voicemail, because they teach all these techniques and they just say, just do it in mass, right? So
right.
many that, like, the saying, even a blind squirrel can find a nut. That's the technique, right? Do it so
Yeah,
much and aggravate so many people that eventually you'll find a deal. And I don't think that's a good solid marketing strategy. Plus, when you quit, it stops, right?
right, right,
And
right.
so it's your time, right? It's hours and hours of cold calling and stuff. So
Yeah, and I almost feel like I'm wasting my time doing it because literally out of all the cold calls I've ever made, I got one lady to talk to me. And then I was like, okay, well, we had a really good rapport going. And then I was like, okay, I'll give you a call back. And she would never pick up her phone after that. She wouldn't answer my text messages, nothing. So I stopped,
yeah,
you know. Yeah.
yeah, it happens a
So
lot. So I'm
yeah.
sorry about the money you spent on the courses.
Hmm,
And let's
not more
see.
than me.
You're in the community, right? I remember your name.
I
You're
joined your Facebook group, yes.
are you in the are you in the you're not in the other community though. If you go
No, probably
to
not.
if you go to my dot wholesalingpartners.com, and
Okay.
we've got a private community that's off of Facebook.
Okay. I think I saw that.
Can somebody drop the link in the chat for me?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but join that off of Facebook. We've got a phone app. So if you want to, so if you join and you want to get in there and ask a question, you can join your state group. You can get into Florida. In the Florida group, we have Chris Logan as the state ambassador. He's a virtual wholesaler over near you. Smart guy, doing weekly Zoom meetings, so you can hop in there and ask anything you want and get direction and all that stuff. We're not going to charge you.
That's awesome.
How about that?
You guys are my best friends already.
Jeanette dropped the link for us there. So,
Okay.
all right. Okay. So I'll touch on this real quick and then I'm going to go to the next person. Privy training. I'm going to have Jessica come in on a regular basis, weekly or bi-weekly, and do training. We'll do a Zoom meeting just like this on Privy. So if you have any questions, you can ask them on the trainings. I'm going to do that with I talked to Burton at PropStream. I've talked to Jessica, lined it up with them, and I've talked to Matt at Deal Machine. They're all three going to come on monthly, multiple times a month, and do training for us. So
Awesome. Okay.
okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
Nice
All
meeting you
right,
all.
nice talking to you finally. Yvonne, hop on here and talk to us.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Hey there. Oh, you forgot to turn
Yeah,
your camera on.
no, I'm not turning my camera on. You have to pay me a lot of money. No, I'm kidding. Um, so yeah, Jacqueline, I can, wow, relate with everything that you said. I mean, it sounds like you were talking about me there for a second. Um, and I'm feeling like, my whole thing is, I'm trying to find my place. And what I mean by that is, do I want to go the way of Privy and do, on market? Do I want to continue to do off market? And if I do, I'm sort of like Jacqueline, I mean, I know it has to be done, the cold calling and stuff, because I haven't implemented, email marketing or any other kind of marketing. So unless I do that, I'm just spinning my wheels. Pretty much that's what I feel like. So I feel like if regardless of which direction, whether it's on market with Privy or off market with Driving for Dollars or that sort of thing, I feel like I would do well if I had it kind of laid out for me. And
Okay.
again, like Jacqueline, I'm not a stupid person. I'm like her, a little bit technical sometimes, but I can get that too eventually. But I feel like, okay, I need someone to say, okay, so first off, what we want to do is this is what we're going to implement. Okay. This is how we're going to get people to start, calling you or whatever. There's a lot out there to kind of pick and choose from. Okay. So should I start the email marketing thing today?
Right.
Should I put up my Facebook to get my cash buyer? Like I wake up in the morning and I go, okay, so what can I do today to give myself the best shot?
Right.
So I feel like I guess that what I'm saying is a more of a step-by-step plan of, tell me what to do and I'll do it. I mean, I know all of these things. And I know that they all fit in somewhere, but I'm feeling like I'm not sure what to kind of put together and what to start implementing.
Okay.
Does that make sense at all?
It makes complete sense. Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. That's what I'm feeling. And I don't know how or who or what or where. But I feel like that's what I need is something like that is like in a format that will help give me the best chance. Then if I can't make it after that, then maybe this just wasn't for me. But that's where I'm struggling.
Right. No, I hear you. Uh, I will work on that in the next few days. I will sit down and try to plot that out. It's a big thing because
It is.
you have to say, okay, either the person wants to cold call or they want to drive for dollars or they want to set up
Yep.
this market that market. So there's like different paths, but maybe I can create actual like a mind map on it. So it's like pick your direction,
Exactly.
or something.
That sounds
Right.
great. Yeah. And I
Right.
hate to, you're doing so much, David, and God bless you. I mean, you have provided so much in here for us that, it's almost like, wow, if you can't, pull it together, but for some reason, I'm not being able to pull it together. I guess I'm just
It's not,
undecisive.
but listen, if you can tell, like from everybody in here, right? If
Mhm.
everybody in here is frustrated, raise your hand,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You're not
Yep.
alone, right? This is,
Yeah.
because I'm not wholesaling is a great business, right? And when you get it, right, when it clicks and you close a deal, you're like, all right, now I can do this. Now I know the process. Now I can get this done. And the money's great, right? And it gives you freedom and all the things that they promise. But
Right.
it's getting there, right? Because
Yeah.
everybody that sells a course, every one of you that have bought a course, you've watched a webinar or heard somebody
Mm.
speak, and they sold you on how easy I've made it, right? I went from
Yes.
sleeping in the gutter to living in a penthouse in Miami, and this is what I did. Buy my course, and I'll show you. But it's not that easy, right? They always leave out all the hurdles that you go through, the analysis paralysis of buying the courses, the fear, all of it, right? Because if they said
Yeah.
that on the webinar, then they wouldn't sell any courses. That's why I can't sell anybody a $1,500 course or a $5,000 course, because I'm not good at lying about.
Yes.
Well,
Yes. Like
maybe
we're
I'd be a lot
and they
richer. I'd be a lot richer if I could do that, but I can't do that. So instead, like, I do stuff like this, and I'm trying to actually help, right? I'm not
yes.
saying that courses don't have good stuff in it, because they do,
Right.
right?
They
But if
do.
you notice, for those of you that have bought multiple courses, they all pretty much say the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? None of them have like some secret sauce. This is it. You knew this and you've got it done. So the secret that they don't tell you is it's hard at first. It's not going to be, unless you're just a natural, unless you've, been in sales and real estate and all that stuff, and it's just easy for you, right? Some people, 1%, 2%, they're going to do it. They're going to go, oh, it's the easiest thing I ever did. But for
Right.
the rest of us, it's not that easy, right? It takes some work. It takes some work to get there. Unfortunately, and what I hate seeing is people spending so much money on those courses and then getting frustrated with it before they succeed. I want to see
Yes.
people succeed before they get to that point, right? Because once you do, wholesaling takes people to so many different places, right? I've talked to people that started in wholesaling and moved on. Now they own their own portfolio of rental properties, or now they're fix and flipping, or, they've moved on to commercial and, all different things. I've heard all different stories. And that's the great thing about real estate wholesaling is it's a catalyst for that. You come in, you learn how to market, you learn how to negotiate, you learn how to talk to sellers and buyers and build your network and start, all that stuff, and then move on usually, right? Some people stay in wholesaling a long time, but most people move on into something else. But that's okay. But it got you started, right? It was the catalyst to get you going. So that's what I'm trying to do is help with the catalyst, help you all stop spending money on stuff and get to where you want to go. That's why I'm trying to uh, line up people to come in and run our state groups that have knowledge in the industry, that have done a lot of deals. So they're there to JV with you. They're there to do a weekly Zoom call and mentor and do all those things to help you get there without spending another $500 or $5,000, right? That you've got a place where you can go to. You've got all these other people with different levels of experience that you can go into the community and say, hey, I need this, or I need to learn this, or watch this course or do whatever. So that's what I'm trying to put
Right.
together for you guys.
We appreciate you so much, David. And it's devastating when you have the ability and the desire to do this, and you spent all the money in hopes of getting there, and now you're depleted,
Yeah.
and like me, I'm giving myself a few more months, because otherwise I'm going to have to go get a 9 to 5. I just don't
Yeah.
have a choice. But that's what they're leaving out. They're giving you the information, all that, and they don't want to take the time to sit down and put together something for their students to say, you know, those of you who don't like cold calling, this is what you can do. Start doing this.
Right.
Those of you who like cold, whatever it may be. But yeah, so thank you, David.
Yeah, because
you're awesome. And
what you just said is true. So everybody's going to gravitate towards a different marketing technique, right? Some people love the cold call. When I started, I didn't, because I'd spent years, in banking and mortgages. And I thought, I don't want to get on the phone. I sat in an office for years. I don't want to do that anymore. That's why I liked getting out and doing the driving for dollars, because I was out and it was sunny outside and I could drive around and listen to the radio and look for, ugly houses. So, but everybody's got a different thing. Some people like, putting on the headphone with the mic and just going at it, and getting a dialer and doing all that stuff. But there's different, everybody's going to have a different way of doing it. But that's important for me to know. Let's try to do that. I'll try to lay out a mind map of a path of, like, okay, this is what I like to do. I like driving for dollars, or I like cold calling, or, I rather, send out, get a really defined list and send out some postcards of very, maybe a list that's stacked with several motivations. So I'm not sending out, 20,000 mail pieces. Maybe I can send out, 400, 300 and get the same result, because I'm stacking motivation levels. So I'll work on that to get that to you guys so you can use that. So good.
thank
good
you,
feedback.
David. Yep.
Let's hop over to Simon. See what Simon's got to say.
Can you hear me?
We can.
How are you?
Good, Simon. How you doing, man?
Right, I've got a bit of an imposter syndrome here because I'm kind of I'm in a community, signed up to a community which so I'm after kind of a different perspective really. I got no complaints with anything to be fair, and I'm doing everything virtually from the UK.
Okay.
So when I listen to people's struggles and different thing, I understand where they're coming from, and I tend to think that perhaps I'm heading for that way, that way. But I've kind of immersed myself in the process of the American way, should we say, and then because property in the UK is kind of one of those things that you see a price on a property in the UK, that's as is. Um, and then there's kind of no strategies around it to kind of, but in the US,
Right.
there's so many different things hanging off a property that's quite exciting. So I've kind of immersed myself into it and thought, well, okay, I'll find different communities where do different things and just make the connections with various people. And so far, so good. I've only done one PML up in Los Angeles, and that's with my own money, which was kind of easy, to be fair. As long as you've got a TC and they know what they're doing, all I've got to do is wire the money. So that's easy. But in terms of the process of doing a flip or wholesaling, the process is easy, but trying to get an actual something under contract that's going to go to the end, now that's another matter. So I kind of resigned to the fact that it's all about relationships from my perspective, put it that way. I can't do the on ground, the boots on the ground type of thing, go and see people.
Yeah.
So I've got to make my relationships and happen from a distance, if you see what I mean. So I kind of got no issues. I was just seeing what your perspective is from someone coming in from a different country and is trying to adopt the actual way of life, American real estate life, really. That's all I've got.
Yeah, Simon, there's thank you for that, by the way. They're actually two of my really close friends are internet friends, and I'm sorry, guys, I've got to turn off the community real quick. It's beeping in my ear. They're in Australia. Two of my closest friends are in Australia and wholesale in America from Australia.
Right.
When I got into the business, into the investment side of it, I was in the Detroit market. I was first inspecting houses for a lot of people in the UK that were buying into the Detroit market, and then I started rehabbing for a lot of them. So I'm familiar with investors working from over the pond, we'll say. Right. Or, Australia or wherever. So yes, you're dead on. It's about, for you, it's about relationships. It's about having, whatever markets you decide to work, it's about having, connecting with somebody that's a good partner on the ground, boots on the ground, that can go take pictures, that can go take a contract out if you want them to do that. That can go let a buyer in and look at a property or whatever. So that would be key for you. Of course, you can't drive for dollars, so you're going to have to come up with some other marketing methods to find properties. Privy might be a good choice for you, where you can find, well below market, on market deals, right, that need a lot of work.
I have Privy. I signed
Right.
up to Privy, and I signed up to Privy for the main reason I thought, or still think, that I need kind of a leg up, if you see what I mean.
Mhm.
And Privy's a good tool. It can be a bit glitchy, when it's not giving you the information. You have to kind of go off to the free sites to get that bit more of information. But it's a process, like everything else. It's a process.
Right.
But I've found it quite good. And I'm like I said, I'm immersing myself into everything, and I've just got to the point now where I think I've created enough relationships. I'm looking for the right deal to lock up. But us British people, we tend to sit back a bit. So we could be comping a property that you're interested in, and it probably goes under contract before we've even finished comping it. That's the difference, right? so we understand we've got to be a bit
So
bigger.
you're sitting back a little too much. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But that's not you know, it's like I said, the process for me, it wasn't the shiny penny for me, because if I haven't got the process right, I'm going to come up against a lot more difficulty than someone in the country that can go and a meet up and kind of answer the actual questions or get over the hurdles that they're getting on.
Right.
But I mean, so far so good. I joined your thing for the wholesaling to look at that perspective, because it's kind of it's a bit of an art, and you've got to be quick, and you've got to do everything on the fly. In as they say, you know, your comping's got to be kind of accurate, and you know. But when you bring in the reverse engineering type of the actual business, it's genius, because it kind of, if you do that bit, the buyer bit right, everything should go to plan. But you're always going to get you're always going to get a buyer that's going to back out. But you know, it all depends if they've got skin in the game.
Back to what you originally said, though. If you have the right buyers and good relationships, they don't back out, right? When they back out is when people are getting something under contract and they're putting it on Facebook and they're finding a buyer, and that buyer's not a real buyer, or they're a iffy buyer. But when you start building relationships with buyers in your market that are buying every month, they're buying consistently, fix and flip, you know, buy and hold for rental properties or whatever, and have relationships with those people, then they do close and they don't back out on you, right? And if they're not going to close, they won't put it under contract, or they won't, let you assign it to them. They'll tell you right up front, this isn't for me, but you need that relationship. So that's true. I want to ask you something, though, while we've got you. I've considered, because I've got all the state groups in the community. What do you think about me having an international room on the community for people from Australia and the UK and Canada and everybody else, and where we would drop some information about the challenges of doing it from another country, about getting boots on the ground, or how you get a US bank account or file for an LLC and those kind of things? You think that would be helpful for somebody like you?
Definitely. The thing is, and funny you should say that, I'm thinking of doing the same thing with my my partner, which is my brother, because when I first started getting into this, I kind of shouted out to everybody across the pond, especially, and who's doing it from the UK, and nobody come up. I had a few people from Canada that shouted, "Yeah, it's a great ride," and then they disappeared, and I didn't know what was going. One prolific guy in Australia that kind of give me an idea where to point to get the LLCs down and all that type of thing. And I'll be upfront with you. Like, I ended up going to Pay Sport Mortgage community, and I did all my LLCs. I did my ITIN number, and the process is there. And that is what I think is stopping a lot of international people, is because they see that the actual, the actual way of doing business in America is tremendous. The business is there. You've just got to get yourself in there and do it the right way, and set it up the right way. In the UK, you kind of do it the other way around. You set up your business, then look for the business, which is, it's hard work. So the process of doing, I found it not so initially, because you're trying to get into the US. Yeah, it is. But once you start making connections, it happens. The biggest thing I come across is the actual phone system. If you're using a UK phone, automatically nobody in America is going to ring you back.
Simon, nobody rings you back if you're from here either. So
no, I know, but it makes it all a less of a thing to do. Right. So I got my phone system sorted, and I wanted it to be seamless, because there's no point you ringing someone and then you only get intermittent conversation. It's just not going to work. So I kind of worked hard on that. The one thing I didn't do was text messaging, and then I realized that people were texting that number and it was coming through on email anyway. So that kind of solved that problem. Yeah. So those processes, yes, I think it's a good idea for guys like yourself doing it. because your platform, it's kind of one of those that's and like you openly say, I'm not knocking any kind of strategy, but the wholesale, you kind of, anybody that's started in the game, it's kind of forced into that way because it's the easiest way, or the easiest process, should we say, to understand, to get you into a deal. So yeah, and I think a lot of people from abroad need to see that. And yeah, it's a good idea.
I agree with you. Because everybody else here isn't from the UK. I would love to have a Zoom with you sometime, and
Yeah,
let's
definitely.
just me and you talk about that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So let's message me in the group and let's set that up, and let's
Okay.
schedule something. Okay. Great.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank
And
you so
everybody
much.
else.
I'm so bad with names. Is it Janie?
It's Janine.
Is it Janine? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Why can't it's Janine? Okay. Sorry, Janine.
Well, hey everyone. Actually, David, if you remember, we met at the Pre-For-Profits
I do
event.
remember you. See, I should have known that, right? Janine. I still have it in my phone. I'm sorry.
No
I'm
worries.
sorry.
But I just joined
Welcome.
the group. Yeah, so I'm happy to be here. I've been in other groups as well that have been online, and one of the things that from that one event that I found very useful was like the networking aspect of it. And I'm not sure how that would relay here to this group, but I know that JVing can be a really good opportunity in
Yeah.
getting like the real life experience, which for me, I think is imperative in just realizing that, you know, what I'm doing is actually possible and that I'm not alone and that I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. So
Right.
yeah, in my other network that I'm a part of, it doesn't seem like there isn't anyone local to connect with. So that's, I think here in the Florida group, I mean, as long as I'm reaching out, then that sounds like it should be a possibility.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, like I said, when we started this, I really want to grow this thing so we have a lot of people here. So there's a lot of people to connect with. But at the same time, I want to keep it, you know, the people in the community. I don't want to just, you know, if you've ever been on Connected Investor or Bigger Pockets, there's a lot of inactive profiles, right? And I want a community of active people. And I sent out a couple of emails recently. In the next, you know, probably 30 days, I'm going to start charging for the community, and it's going to be something minute. It's going to be, you know, $9 a month, or, you know, something little. The reason I'm doing that, one, is, you know, I have to make something to make it worthwhile to do this all day long. But also because if somebody's not active, I want them to unsubscribe, right? $9 ain't going to kill anybody, right? Monthly. If you can't afford $9 a month to be in a really good group, then you need to worry about other stuff other than wholesaling. But and then I also want to do it to keep people out, like, people off of Facebook that are overseas that are pushing skip tracing and all this other garbage you see in the Facebook groups. I want to keep that off there. And I think if they have to pull out their credit card to join their group, they're not going to do it, or they're not very likely to do it. So, but yes, I want to, any place where there's a wholesaling market, I want to have a group of people in here, and I'm working hard to do that. We're going to start promoting it more. I've got VAs that are going to push it out to Facebook groups and to get more people to join. Janina, I want to talk a minute about, we met at the pre-foreclosure summit this past week, and that was Janine's first. It wasn't your first, was it your first event that
Yeah,
you
that
went
was
to?
the first event.
Your first event, right? And then I cornered her for like an hour and talked her into joining this group. I'm like, you got to come here. A lot of good people here. Right? So, but that's what we all have to do. And hats off to you for, for paying for that and going to it and meeting people. And because that's what you have to do. You came by yourself. You got outside your comfort zone and went to an event to meet other people in real estate. And when we were there, you met Derek, who has all the RIA groups down here, right? And for everybody else that wasn't there, Derek, a guy here in Pinellas County in St. Petersburg, has 5 RIA groups here locally, and he didn't start them all himself. He inherited them from other people that had them and wanted to quit doing it and all that stuff. But we had some conversations with Derek, and I've known Derek for a few years. But and I think you were present in some of the conversations where I said, if somebody's got a deal, if it's on market, if it's off market, wherever they find it from, are you interested in it? I mean, would you be interested in it if it was an on market deal? And he's like, absolutely. He's like, I'll buy anything as long as it's a good deal. Right. So for any of you like looking at Privy and saying, are investors interested in on market deals, MLS deals, whatever, guys like that, where he's buying and fixing houses and flipping and he's tearing stuff down and building new houses and all that, he wants any deal, right? He's not sitting on the MLS all day looking for deals, right? So it's people like that that we all have to meet, right? So Simon has to meet him virtually, right? Because he's over in UK. But the rest of us need to get out to RIA groups. And it's going to be one of the things that I do in my training this week about building your buyers list. But you have to get out to the RIA groups and you have to meet people, right? Because Janine met probably 4 or 5 people that would buy deals off of her, right?
Right. That was an important part of that entire event, was working with those people.
Right. But that's what it's about. If you take nothing else away, that could make your money back on that, right? Times 1,000, right? Because those people now, right? You go to the, Beach RIA or wherever you go. And if you get a deal, or when you get a deal, you've got somebody to move it to. And I even told you there, right? If you at the pre-foreclosure event, if you start marketing and you find a deal and you want me to go with you to the property, just so you're not scared the first time going to property, I would go with you, right? And there's other people that you would meet at RIAs that would say the same thing to you, right? That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to build a community where we can JV together, where we can support each other, where we can say, hey, I'm scared to go to a RIA meeting. Let's go together, right? Safety in numbers. They won't beat us up and throw us out if there's 2 of us, right? And go have coffee or whatever. Because if you immerse yourself in this, guys, that's when you're going to be successful. When you're buying courses and setting online, looking at your computer screen, that's not it, right? You get the general knowledge. You guys all got it. You all understand how it works. Now it's time to get out and go do it, right? You've got to do it. Tyrone's doing it, right? Where's my deal machine guy? Did he leave? Terry Ann, where are you? He's doing it. I hope he's doing it, right? So,
Oh yeah.
oh, there he is. Mr. Deal Machine. That's what I call you now.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely doing it and still getting good results from the Driving for Dollars challenge. And this whole group has just been a tremendous blessing for me. Everyone's in the right group. You just have to pace yourself because it's a lot of information. So you first have to be clear in your mind before you can take like any action.
Right.
And make sure you understand, like sometimes we'll, frustrate ourselves. Just make sure you understand the processes first, like understand, your offer or how to get to an offer. And then there's going to be different ways or different lists that you can target, which is going to be different for everyone. So some people, like if you're low on funds or may not have a lot of money, like for marketing, Driving for Dollars may be your best strategy, like when starting out. If you have funds and you can buy some of the software to do the lifting for you as far as looking at properties go and analyzing deals, then softwares like Deal Machine or Privy, may work best for you. So there's going to be like a lot of different strategies you can use to look at off market properties and on market properties. We just got to make sure we understand like what we're looking at, what makes a deal, and then what happens next, as far as making an offer. Are you comfortable with talking with sellers, whether it be through a realtor or direct? Are you comfortable with talking with people about a property and seeing if you can, make an offer? So just pace yourselves, with the process and your knowledge, and then everything will start to come together over time as you spend more time, with this business. But nothing is going to happen overnight.
Well said, my friend. Um, you guys, it's about learning one step at a time. I think I told Tyrone that, maybe Terry on, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
but it's learning how to market, and Terry On's doing it, driving for dollars, right? And we talked about, like, we did it in the driving for dollars challenge, what to look for, right? Go out, look for vacant properties, look for distressed properties, in how to market, right? And there's different techniques for marketing, cold calling, and driving for dollars, mail, we'll get into all the techniques, right? But you learn that until you get the phone ringing, right? And then when the phone rings, and this happened for Jeanette, right? Jeanette put a note on the door, and they called and said, yeah, I'm interested in selling. They had the phone conversation, which went well, because she got an appointment to go see the property, right? They said, hey, yeah, come on out, we show you the property. And then, and I said, okay, so you learn how to market through driving for dollars. You learn how to talk on the phone, right? And when you're on the phone, you're just looking for motivation, right? If somebody goes, yeah, my neighbor sold for 380, I want, 400. That's not motivated, right? Motivated is when they're like, you know what, I inherited this house. It's a pain in my neck. I got to get rid of it. I can't pay taxes on two houses, blah, blah, blah. It's messed up. I can't list it with a realtor, whatever. That's motivation. That's what we're looking for. Right. So once you find somebody with that and you have that phone conversation, then you go to look at the property and you learn that step. Right. And it's really, you're just reiterating the conversation, talking about their motivation to sell, asking them about the property, taking pictures, doing all that stuff. Right. You get that done and then you leave. You don't have to make an offer right there. You say, hey, we're going to go back, crunch my numbers, look at stuff. I'll call you back. You go back, call them back when you're ready. If you're going to make an offer, preferably, if you're local, you go back out and see them so you can have that face-to-face conversation. Say, you know what, here's the comps on it. Here's what it would sell for if it was in great shape, but it's not, needs a roof, needs a kitchen, driveway's busted up, blah, blah. You work down on the price and say, because of all this, here's what I can offer. Right. And it doesn't have to be adversarial. This is what it is, right? I'm an investor, I'm going to fix it up. I need a little bit of profit margin, blah, blah, blah. This is what I can offer you. And they take it or leave it. They say, yes, you sign a contract, goes to closing. That's it. Right. But those parts are scary, right? I don't know how to comp. I don't know how to talk to somebody. I don't know. That's why you take it one step at a time. Market, get good at marketing, get good at having people calling you. Then when they call you, like they did Jeanette and Tyrone and Terry on, then you have that conversation. And if they sound motivated and if they meet the criteria, then you go to the next step. And we just keep walking through it. Right. So that's the secret sauce. The secret sauce is getting over the hump on each of those things and to do it enough to where we're not scared doing it anymore, or we can work past it. Because some people, they'll go out and market and somebody will, people will start calling and then they won't even pick up the phone. They're like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm scared. And that's it. And they're done. Right.
Yeah.
So we have to do that. We have to keep walking past it.
Yeah.
Who else got something for me? What else? Tyrone's got his hand up again. What you got, Tyrone?
I recommend everybody in this group to do the driving for dollars. 100%. You get your fear out of the way. And then what you should do is you should do the reverse driving for dollars. That's what I do. I did them both. I went, looked at the property, came back, and I went back and I presented a letter. When I present the letter, I already know the property's in distress. So if they're going to call me, the phone rings, they're calling me. They're calling me for one reason, because they need help.
Yeah.
So even though the challenge is through, keep going. Don't stop.
Yeah,
Like I said,
the challenge is
look-
just to
look
get
at-
you going.
Look at right here. Look, you see what these are? These are all another 50 to 75 to 100. Look, property owners. I just got to seal them and they're going out. As soon as I drive, I go and I don't even put it, I don't tape, I put it in their mailbox.
Well, be careful about doing that because that's actually against the law, Tyrone.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Only mail carriers can put mail in a mailbox.
Oh, really?
FYI. So
Oh, okay. I didn't know
I
that.
wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it a lot. Right.
Oh, okay.
That's why
didn't know that.
I use it. One of the reasons I use the tape. So
Oh, so tape it. Okay, I'll start taping.
plus the other reason is if somebody's not, somebody's just watching the house from across the street or a neighbor and you stick it in a mailbox, they're never going to see it.
Oh, okay.
Right. But if you tape it with that blue tape on the door, then whoever's driving by or, watching it from across the street or what, then they're going to see it and they're going to go, what's that on the door? And they're going to go grab it. But if you stick it in the mailbox, your response rate is going to be a lot lower because they're not going to see it. And then when somebody says, hey, you're sticking mail in mailboxes, you'll get yelled at. So don't do that anymore.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Federal. It's a little federal crime. So don't.
Oh, okay. Thanks for
We
the
won't
info.
report you though. All right. All right, good
But,
stuff though. Yeah. So,
but
and
continue.
again, driving for dollars isn't for everybody because everybody's got a different situation. People can't get out to do it or they don't want to do it. They rather be on the phone. I'm with you, man. I believe it's the best method, but everybody's situation is different. So I have, as a community group owner, I have to be open-minded to everybody else's strategy, right? Like I've got to present everything to everybody. So, but
So,
yes,
David?
it's good.
Uh, So David, you think a lot of mail is not a good strategy, right?
A lot of mail.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're going to send mail, so back to driving for dollars for just a second. When I started in the business, that's all I did was drive for dollars, and I started closing deals, and I got money, good amount of money in the bank, and I thought I'm going to bypass all this driving for dollar stuff and I'm just going to send mail. So, back then everybody's like, oh, absentee owner, get an absentee owner list. They've owned the house more than 10 years and blah, blah, whatever the criteria was. So I bought a big list, got my mail ready, sent it out, spent a couple grand on it and got nothing, like a big goose egg. I had 2 people call and yell at me said, take me off your list. It's because the list wasn't good, right? It's too big and too broad. I don't think mail is bad in certain situations, like with Tyrone driving for dollars. If he's going by the house constantly and, and seeing that it's vacant, nobody's there and all that, and wants to start a mail piece to it, I'm good with that, right? Build your own list of vacant houses. If you buy a list or, you have Deal Machine or PropStream or something, and you stack a list of different criteria. So you say, okay, it's vacant, it's 2 years tax delinquent, right? And, whatever, and stack that up. That's a good list, right? And then you don't need to mail to thousands. You can mail to hundreds and get the same result, right? But pick something that they're going to sell, or there's a high likelihood they're going to sell. Probate, tax delinquent, something to that effect, where that they're in a situation and they're going to get rid of the property. And don't mail, if you do that and you pull a list, don't mail once, mail several times. Okay. A lot of people make that mistake and just, they'll just mail one time to the list and go on something else. And you need to hit that same list 2 or 3 times to get the full results from it. County, Aaron said county clerk office pulls list. So yeah, you can go to a county, do a FOIA request at a county. A lot of people, or not a lot of people, but some people talk about pulling a water shutoff list. What I prefer is a low water usage list, because not every empty house has the water completely shut off, but if the house is empty, people aren't using water. So I rather say, go to the county and have them pull a list of low water usage, maybe under, like the, 200 or 300 cubic feet of water a month. And that's a better list to get. But a lot of times they'll give you that for free or, a few bucks. Lionel, you got a question or comment?
Yes. Hi, David. What's your take on using AI to make the phone calls?
On using AI to make the phone? All
What's
right.
your take?
Yeah. Guys, I'm old school. I think real estate is a relationship business, and it is back to dropping a lot of SMS calls or ringless voicemails or you cold calling all day. I think I'm sure a lot of people will try to use AI to make calls. I'm not a fan. I mean, like, I know a lot of people will do it, and probably a lot of people will make good money off of it, but it's not my thing, right? um I haven't seen any products that are set up to do it. I'm sure they're out there, but and I'm sure people are already promoting them. It's not something that I would do, but I would say if you're going to do it, I would still make sure you're scrubbing your list for the do not call list, and following all the the things that you should do not to get yourself in trouble robocalling people with AI. Hope that helps. All right. I'm gonna mess your name up, man. You got your hand up.
It's all right. You can say Phil.
Phil, there you go.
Phil for
Just put
sure.
Phil next time you come in.
Yeah, I
just,
know. I
just
should.
put
I'm
Phil.
sorry. I know. Everybody calls me that anyways. I think for me, it's just overwhelmed just with everything. And there's this book called One Thing, and I kind of listened to the podcast, and it helped me out by breaking things down. So I said, you know what? The most important thing is marketing. Like, you got to market. So I was just like, let me just take my time, not and just really look at one thing at a right there. Because the first thing is marketing. That's the bloodline of the business. So,
Right.
but anyways, I was kind of getting myself overwhelmed with that. And then the comping, I'm like, well, how do I comp, right? And all this. So I found myself just overwhelmed. And it was more so the comping, what list, and equity percentage, right? Because if these people don't have equity in their house, there's no deal for us. So,
Right.
and lastly, the whole process, like, it's not going to always work out. There's some deals are going to fall through, and I'm okay with that. And then the last thing was the whole cash buyers thing. I love what you said, because everybody was saying Facebook, Facebook, Facebook. And when you said that's like the worst thing you can do, it really turned my brain began to wire. Like, it turned my wires around, because I began looking at that. I was like, that makes sense, because first of all, the homeowner can see that. Second of all, it's a lot of fraud wholesalers on there pretending to be cash buyers, and it don't look good. But when you mentioned about building relationships with people, now you're bypassing that and going straight to your cash buyers. So I was like, wow, that's very interesting. I never thought about it like that. So I hope that makes sense. I know I kind of said a lot of things, but just the comping, do I practice? Now, I'm not saying each home I do before getting a deal. I know that before, because some people get caught up in comping before they even call the seller. They comping. I'm not talking about that. I mean, it's getting more proficient with that. Like, do I do practice on that, or do I wait until the opportunity comes? And then the list. What list do I go, like, pick? Absentee owner, who, and then like equity percentage when I'm doing my list. Like, what equity percentage should I go with? Some people are saying 40%, some people are saying 50%, some people are saying 100%. So,
Well, I wouldn't
those
go.
three things, right?
Yeah. I
Mhm.
wouldn't, they're doing 100%, like when they're going after like sub two deals and stuff, which I'm not a big fan of. Um, don't beat yourself up on comping. And I'll tell you why. I mean, you want to make sure it's below value, right? You can buy it below market because it's messed up, because it it needs repairs or whatever. But every single investor that would potentially buy that property from you is going to estimate the repairs differently when they go in there. Okay. So all you have to know is roughly the ARV, which you can I mean, like, people beat up Zillow a lot, right? Oh, so Zillow is always off, right? But it's just an estimate. right? So look at Zillow, look at Redfin, get an average and use that number. Okay. Don't beat yourself up over it. As far as repairs, don't beat yourself up over it because you don't know. It takes a long time to learn how to estimate a rehab job. Take a lot of pictures, right? Then you can, you can still come up with round numbers if you wanted to, like, needs a roof. Okay. It's going to, I don't know, 6 grand, 7 grand, 10 grand, whatever, based on square footage. And you can Google it, right? How much does a roof cost for a seven? So, so just come up with some rough numbers, but don't worry about like, okay, I need like 18 switch plate covers, toilet seat, like whatever, it needs, it looks like it maybe needs 20 grand, 10 grand, needs paint, right? Paint, just minor cleanup's going to cost you 4 grand, right? So just come up with something rough. And that's why it's important to have those relationships with the investors, because you can send them the 120 pictures you took, send them the file on it. You don't have to give them the address or anything, but you send them the pictures and say, how much repair do you think's here? Right. They'll look at it and they'll tell you in 5 minutes, right? I've got a line on this property. Can you, I'm trying to estimate it. Can you tell me what it would cost to fix this place up? Right. And they'd be like, oh, it looks like 20 grand worth of work. Then right? And it's based on what they think, not what you think, right? So don't beat yourself up over numbers. It's everybody's different and everybody's going to come up with a different number, right? Some people will go in and just slap a coat of paint on it, leave the old kitchen, right? They're just going to rent it out. They don't care, right? Some people are going to go in and rip out everything out, put in granite, put in, whatever, and flip it and try to make, 80 grand on it. So you don't know, right? So don't go the rabbit, because that's what everybody does with every step. Right? They try to go down this rabbit hole to become so proficient on it. And they're like, I can't move on until I know how to, estimate a property to the exact penny. And you're never going to get there. Right? Move on. Just like you said, get good at marketing. Right? Let that be your one thing. All right, guys. Any other on the platform, anything else you guys would like to see other than me coming up with exhaustive blueprints which path to go down, Barbara?
Yeah, just I think a lot of us here, it sounds like we're frustrated with cold calling. So just in like integrating maybe some cold callers, because everybody's different. There's introverts and extroverts and ambiverts, and there's people that are more comfortable. Sorry, my partner's singing. More comfortable cold calling, and the rest of us, I mean, I'll live in my car before I make a cold call. It's not that bad, but pretty bad. I've done so much of it and it's just really not my thing, but I love the group. I think we just all need to come together and work together, and I know a couple of the ladies from this group have met, I think in Florida.
Yvonne has met.
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, and
Diana Gonzalez.
with Diana, out of Texas, right? So, and because she's from here and came over and met Yvonne. But yeah, I'd like to see more of that. Again, if you're local, you've got other people local to you. Go have, go have lunch, go have a hamburger and meet up with other people in here. If there's nobody close to you, still try to get out to a RIA meeting and meet some people and then invite all the people to the group. Okay.
Right.
I need you guys to be my ambassadors, right? So, I mean, and I know a lot of you do a good job telling people about the group, but, helping me in the group, like I said, if you see something that should be in there, report it. Help contribute in the group, make posts and tell me what you need. David, I'd like to see this in here, right? And and I will do my best, right? Because I really, the guys, the only reason I'm doing this is for you.
So
Because I hear everybody's story about like, oh, I spent money and I've years of frustration and like I bought 20 courses and and it's like, I know if you spent 10 grand on courses, it bothers you a lot, but trust me, it bothers me almost as much, right? Because I hate hearing it because all that information it's all here, right? I know it all. And I'm not saying that cocky, right? I take that back. There's some things I don't know. That was a bad statement. But all the stuff that you're learning in those courses is common knowledge, right? And we can teach it in the group, and I can get people to come in and teach it for free. And if there's something that I don't know, that I don't do a lot, like I don't do a lot of sub two, I'm not a fan of it. But if you guys want to learn about sub two, then I'll bring somebody in to teach it, right? Just tell me we want to learn sub two. Start a poll, right? Who wants to learn sub two? And if like a lot of people vote on it, then I'll bring somebody in. Okay.
And then I think another thing too is to have a list of cash buyers in the group with their buy box would be awesome. I know there's a few in the group. And just, if you guys have questions, feel free to reach out and don't feel like you're the only one like me yesterday going, I'm never cold calling again. I can't, just we're all having the same kind of hurdles and frustrations. So don't give up, and David's awesome, and just let's just stick together as a family and in this great community.
I appreciate it.
Hi,
Jeanette, do you need to say anything? You're sitting there just watching. Say something.
yes. So I have some question because I'm brand new. Okay. So I hope I'm wondering whether you can make a video that include a minimum scale size so that we as a new person we can take action very quickly.
Like a
I
quick
mean,
start
whether
video?
you can, like a pipeline workflow from the starting to the end.
Well, yeah, that's what I think I'm going to kind of come up with is like a mind map that will show that.
Yeah.
And then I'll do a video along with it. With a mind map, I can actually insert
Yes.
videos in there. Yes.
And I hope this pipeline can be the best effective in your successful wholesaling business.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I mean, this pipeline is the minimum, the route we can take action to do the wholesaling, the business.
Okay. Yep, I will do it. Quick start. I'm going to do this quick start video. Yeah, I'll keep it. I just want you guys to know the basics, right? That's all you need. I mean, you guys know about wholesaling, but I'll create it like the basics. Here's learning the steps, right? And if you want to do it through cold calling, if you want to learn it through driving for dollars, if you want to learn it through online marketing, right? And I'm going to get into some free online marketing tactics too that you guys can do to start getting your phone to ring. Okay. And have those inbound calls or we can do on Facebook and get you inbound messages or whatever. And start, I've got to figure out the best way to do that because again, everybody doesn't want to use the same techniques. So, maybe I'll do it like in a marketing course format, like so it's got sections and just each section is a different technique, right? So you can go in and say, oh, I want to do, let's look at the Facebook and let's look, and you can kind of pick and pick and choose what you want to do or something. I'll figure out how to format it best. But just some ways to get you guys away from cold calling because I know I did a video on that like a year ago and the amount of effort that it takes to get a deal through cold calling versus other avenues. And cold calling's the hardest one. when it comes to time, right? It's not, when you add up the time it takes to get a deal, it's not cost effective because you've got to spend so much time doing it. Driving for dollars came out way ahead of cold calling, right? Now, I understand everybody can't get out and drive for dollars. That's this thing, but there's other ways. There's other marketing techniques that you can use versus doing that, right? One of them, and I'll go into details and I'll give you all the copy and everything. But a strategy that a lot of people use, or not a lot of people, but some people use, is joining all the buy sell trade groups in your area. Okay. All of them.
Okay.
And then going in there and just making a post in 5 a day or 6 a day. It says, hey, I'm looking to buy a house that needs some work to fix up.
Okay. Thank
Real
you so
short.
much. You give us this chance
gonna-
to know every person.
Yeah.
Because so my husband and I live in Georgia.
Okay.
We running the Agenda LLC is a construction company for 8 years. We have a lot of experiences in construction field in Georgia. So that's why this year we want to go into the wholesaling the business.
Okay.
We hope we can provide a lot of chances for whatever seller or buyer or investor.
Yeah. Well, there you got it. They're a construction company. So if anybody needs a rehab quote, call Joy.
Yeah, my background in computer science is PhD degree.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So guys, so that's so Facebook group, putting a post, in the buy sell trade groups, and there's in your areas, there's probably 50 of them, right? For each city, for a county, for whatever. And you just sign, and I'm going to do a video on it. You don't start right away, but I'll do a video on it. And so you can put them like in a little file on your bookmark tab, and you can do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? And have so many groups in each one. And then Monday you get up and you make your coffee and you come sit down on the computer and you go into the Monday tab and you open up those groups and you go in there and just copy and paste. Hey, looking for a house to buy, to fix up, I want to deal direct with owner, right? Post it. Go in the next group, do the same thing. And then you'll start getting people message you. Hey, I've got a house. Hey, my brother's got a house. Hey, but I've got all the copy and everything, and I'll give you guys, and I'll do a little video and show you how to do it. But if you just do that 5 days a week, you'll start getting inbound calls. And then we add those things up and we start doing other things like those. Craigslist or with Zillow or with different things. And we build up some of those techniques. And so then instead of getting up every morning and saying, okay, I got to hit the phone for 3 hours, 4 hours or whatever, you get up and say, okay, I've got these things that I need to do today. I've got to make my posts. I got to do this. I got to do that. And then start getting people calling you that are actually motivated to sell a house versus you calling people that aren't motivated to sell a house. Okay. Who else has something for me? A lot of people on here haven't talked yet. I want feedback. Give me feedback. Tim Dixon, you haven't said anything. Pamela, I don't think Pamela said anything. AJ hasn't. Everybody's quiet. Jeanette's got her hand up. Jeanette, hop up here.
Hi, this is Tim Dixon, David. How are you?
Good, Tim.
I didn't mean to be so silent. So,
That's okay.
actually, I've been around the business for just a little while. So, around 5 years. I really hadn't been very active, but I'm starting to jump back in. So, actually, I am located in Chicago, Illinois.
Nice.
And I'm doing wholesaling here and as well as in Southeast Wisconsin.
Okay.
So basically the reason why I joined the group was when I first seen the advertisement was to partner with other investors in different areas and make money wholesaling properties. I was looking to partner up with people in Southern California as well as Las Vegas.
Okay. Are
I
you
ju-
in those state groups?
yes,
Okay.
I'm in those things.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I think somebody else was talking. So you are in those state groups in the platform, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, I appreciate it, Tim. I'm working on getting more people in here. So hopefully we can get you connected with the investors you want to be connected with.
Okay. So are there any cash buyers that are online right now that are looking for properties in a specific area?
On this call, I do not think so.
Okay.
But again, make a post in the group, in your state groups, what you're looking for, what kind of partners you're looking for, and we'll try to get people in there and get them attracted to you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Tim. All right, Jeanette, I'm going to you.
It takes me so long to unmute. I'm so sorry.
Go
Well, as
ahead.
always, oh, sorry. I don't know if you hear my kid coughing, but
Nope.
it's okay. Oh, okay, I did. But as always, thank you for the group, David, because people like me struggle. But what I realized that from being in the community, that I'm actually trying a lot of different things that I normally would not do. Because I mean, you know me, that I am like, I'm everywhere. So I try to market and do this and try to do that, try to do this. And I honestly, I hate cold calling, but you see, I picked up the phone. So, but because at the end of the day, the goal is to have people to call. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, maybe, let me try this. Maybe it will produce a different result. In addition to, because I'm a mailers person, I'm a text person, anything that'll keep me from talking and getting voice to voice as much as possible. But, that's what I love about the community, is because it's a safe space to try. And, you can't really fail, at least if you try, even if it's not,
Right.
The result you want, but, you can't fail, especially amongst people who are
It can
trying.
be scary, guys. I've told the story 100 times. When I was a kid, I installed industrial tires, okay, on forklifts. And we had a salesman, his name was Buck Jones, and he would come into the shop. I'd be dirty, putting on tires, and he'd come in his polo shirt and khaki pants. And I was looking at him, I thought, he's got the life I want, right? He's clean, he's cool, I'm sweaty, I'm dirty, right? I wanted to switch. So finally, I talked him into letting me be a salesman. I had to hire, they had to hire a replacement. I had to train him and all that. But like my day came where like David's a salesman now. I could still drive you to the very first building that I cold called. When I did that, I was so scared. My mouth went dry. My stomach was in knots. I thought the receptionist was going to punch me in the head, right? It was in my early 20s. And it was the scariest thing that I ever did. Okay. But I wanted it bad. I had that burning desire in my gut that I wanted to be a good salesman, right? It's what I wanted. Just like you guys want to get into wholesaling. I wanted that worse than anything, right? So I made the second call, which was just as scary. And then the third, and it started getting a little better. And it took me some time to get over that, right? And it's what all of you are going through. And I get that, or not all of you, but most of you. I get it. I get the fear. I get the I don't want to cold call anymore. This sucks, all of that. Okay. So that's why I can empathize with you. I want to help you get through this. Right. So Jeanette, thank you. I'm trying to make it a safe space, right? And I think we're going to change the name from Wholesaling Partners to We Hate Cold Calling. I think that would be a better name for the group, but we'll save that for today. But I'm glad you're getting out, because you went out, you did some driving for dollars. You got a deal, or not a deal, but you got a call, and you talked to the seller and went out, and I coached you through going out and taking pictures of the property and all that, and it went well for you, right? It didn't kill you, right?
No, it didn't. I'm still here.
You were
And I
nervous.
actually got a call today too from Well, he wants to sell more so at retail. So, but that's when I went to go put letters on the door after I went after I did the cold calling, excuse me.
Right.
And it was off of a list that I had. And I was just like, well, it's local. I'm gonna just go put my driving for dollar letters on the door. And somebody called me today from that. But I mean, I can't do anything for them. But again, the safe space concept. I was able to get on the phone, talk to him. Of course, I stuttered like now, but being nervous, but that's okay. You know what I mean? Next time I'll get better, and I'll keep getting better and keep getting better. So
And that's how it works, right? And you did it. Because you've been messing with wholesaling for a little while too, right?
Yes.
But you pushed through it, right? And that's what it's about. It wasn't bad. You pretended like it was the worst thing that ever happened to you.
It was.
But you went out there by yourself, talked to a lady. I think it went well. So, but that's it. That's what you got to do, right? And the next one would be easier. What I wanted to say though is if you had a relationship with a good investor-friendly realtor, you would have a lead for them right now. So
you know what? That's a good point, because I have been doing that. Actually, I got about 6 people that over the weekend, I got phone numbers and stuff off of Facebook. So actually, I'm gonna have to do that.
Right. So back to building those relationships, right?
Yes.
Build the relationships with investor-friendly realtors, because they'll bring you a deal. I used to have realtors send me deals in Detroit all the time because the houses were, so crappy and so cheap that they made nothing on them in commission, right? So they get somebody say, hey, I want to sell this house. They just throw it to me and say, hey, just JV with it. Pay me when you do something with it, right? So build those relationships, because you never know what will come from them. Plus, a lot of times they have buyers. So if you find a deal and you don't have a buyer, you can go to your realtor partners and say, hey, you have somebody to be interested in this. So you take advantage of those leads and send them to people.
Yes, I'm gonna probably bother you about that too, actually, because like I said, with the guy, he wants like 350 on the house. The house is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. It's an older house, but he wants what he wants. And trying to get him to wholesale is probably not gonna work. But if I can help him some other way, at least I did my part.
You did it. He could refer somebody to you or what. I mean, like, you never know what will come of it. So yeah, absolutely. You everybody here knows how to get a hold of me. So
definitely.
All right.
Thank you.
So we got half the people on here just watching. They're just sitting back. They're like, I just want to come on here and see what's going on. For anybody on here that's not already on the platform, Jeanette, can you put it in for me again? my.wholesalingpartners.com. All right. Anybody else got anything? Phil, thanks for changing your name. Jared, you got anything? Quinn, Sheil, Shirley? Just going to call people out. Rosalind? Guys? All right.
I have one more question. One more question.
All right, Phil.
Now, in terms of when you do sell, because dispositions is another thing too, that's a whole different topic. But do you believe in like emailing these people that you build relationships, or just direct calling? Because I'm looking at the whole marketing. Like when you do market it to them, let's say via email, you do market it. Do you put like ARV? Do you put this, or you recommend just calling them and telling them, hey, are you interested in this?
It depends on how close you are with them. Okay. I'll tell you how it works for me. All right. Every buyer that I sold to on a regular basis was in my cell phone. I had their cell number. I would go to a property. I would do like I'm telling all you guys to do is take 100 pictures of everything, right? You can't take too many pictures. Roof, front of the house from this side, front of the house from that side, what the street looks like, side of the house, window, roof, driveway, sidewalk, right? Everything. All right. And then I would put all those pictures when I would left and I had the property under contract. If I put it under contract, I would go to my car and I would put all those pictures in either a Google folder or Dropbox. And I would take the link and I would send it to all my buyers sitting right there in my car. And I'd say, hey, just put this under contract. The price is X. Here are the pictures. Let me know. It'll be gone by the end of the day. And I would text it individually to each one of them. Right? Let's say my top 8 or 10 buyers. Okay. If by chance none of those guys took them, which was rare, then I would go to my email list and I would email to my other buyers, my B buyers, right? And work the list. That's how I did it. Right.
Man, that is
But I
great.
never put them on Facebook. I never put them on Craigslist. I never put them on Zillow. I never put them online. I always thought that was a fine line because that's, to put it online, you're, realtor or a FSBO. That's who should be listing properties online. I'm not a fan of it. People do it all the time. I get that, but I think it's the wrong way to do it. Right? You're asking to get in trouble. One time, tell you a story. One time when I was new, had a property under contract. I had a friend that was a real estate broker. And his partner or a lady that worked in her office or his office she was a wholesaler, did some wholesaling stuff. But I sent it to them. I'm like, hey, you guys interested in this? Send it to them. She's like, oh yeah, I might be interested in it. She put it on Craigslist. All right. That owner knew that day, somebody saw it on Craigslist, lost the deal. That lady was belligerent. Like she was mad. Right. So that's why I'm not a fan. Right. Never do it. Never do it. Have your buyers lined up. Have a buyer's list.
Yeah, because I heard that's more so realtor world when you're marketing a property because we don't own a
It
property.
is a
It's the
realtor world,
contract.
right? And people argue it all the time. Oh, I'm marketing a contract, blah, 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 whatever. Go in front of the state real estate board and discuss that with them, right? It's just, I know thousands of people do it, but I don't. And wouldn't suggest you do it. Have buyers, know your buyers in your market, go to the RIA meetings, have a list of 20, 30, 40 people are buying and send it to them. If they don't buy it, if you've got 40 local buyers that you know are buyers and they don't buy it, it's not a good deal. Right? You didn't have a good price. Right? So cancel your contract or go renegotiate. That's how you know. Not too hard. What's up, Tyrone?
Are we going to work on that buyer's list this week or next week?
How to build it? Yeah.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah. I've got a pile of stuff laying here to do it. I started to film it, but there's like I said, there's like several different techniques, and I was debating whether I was going to put it on one big long video or in separate videos because I know it's like to sit down and watch an hour video. It's kind of not always fun. So you guys tell me, would you rather have it in one video or multiple videos?
Me personally, just one.
One? Okay.
Because I'm already there watching it.
Okay.
I mean,
all right, make you a deal. I'll put it in one video and I'll tag the sections. So if you need to stop and come back, you can pick up where you left off.
That'd be
All right.
great.
All right.
Thank
I'll
you.
do it in one. All right. Deal. All right. You guys got any? I can appreciate you guys hopping on in the evening and doing this. And telling me, your wants and needs and all that stuff. It's important.
Thank you,
Right.
David. I'm watching my partner Tom there eat.
Hey, Tom. I like Tom's profile all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks everybody. This was awesome. And I'm glad that we're all feeling hopefully a little less frustrated with our tasks at hand.
Let's lay it out. I'll lay it out for you. All right. You guys can help me because I'll lay it out and you can tell me, hey, this is clear, or, you know, let's redefine it a little bit or whatever. Let's work through it and get it good for you guys and for everybody that uses it after you, right? As
Right.
people come into the community. But realize, you know, this, it is frustrating, but once you get past it, it'll be worth it. And that's it. And then, you know, and then you'll stop buying courses and recoup your money, and we'll all be happy.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
want to let everybody know, I feel like family here, so we're
Yeah.
all family.
Thanks, Tyrone. I
so-
appreciate it. Just Tyrone, it's because
too.
you talk to me every day.
Yeah.
It's like we're like Tyrone and I are like brothers or something now. No, I appreciate that. I want everybody to feel like that. And I want to try to do that as the group grows, because it'll get harder when there's, you know, when there's
Yeah.
more people in here. But
Yeah.
I don't ever want you guys to leave, right? But that happens a lot with what I do with the Wholesalers Toolbox. I do want to see you become successful and maybe possibly move on, right? This doesn't mean you can't come back and say hi to me, but I want you guys to get successful and go on to, you know, to do big, great things in real estate and with everything. So, but I do, you know, I appreciate you saying that it feels like family, and I want it to feel like that. So thank you.
I have one last question before we end, hopefully. So can we, or do we have your contact information, David? Like as far as your maybe phone number, your
Man, I give my phone number to everybody. You guys be calling me night and day. Tim, if you're in the community, right? You're in my wholesaling partners, and download the app on your phone. Jeanette just dropped the link again because she's my assistant. If you download the app, you can message me in there directly. You can send me a private message right on the app.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And if
And
I'm
he
not
responds.
sleeping, I respond between the hours of 10 a.m. and 3 a.m.
What's the app name?
It's called Mighty. Download from the App Store. It's Mighty Networks. It's the Mighty Network app.
Mighty.
And then when you download the Mighty Network app, you just you just search for Wholesaling Partners, and you just have to click and join. Who's got the app? Raise your hand if you have the app. All right.
Right there.
There you go. I know Tyrone's got it because he messages me all the time. I think Yvonne's got it. I think I got some hands raised there. Terry on, I know you got it, buddy. All right, guys. Thank you for spending your evening with me. Go enjoy the rest of the night, and I'll start working on the roadmap to get you guys going and start doing some training videos.
Thank you. Have
Okay.
a good night, everybody. And a
Thank
safe
you.
Bye.
rest of
Bye,
the night.
guys.
Good night, family. Good night.